Hi, my name's Clare McCracken and I'm a mixed media site-responsive artist working on the land of the Woonwurrung and Boonwurrung language groups in Naarm, Melbourne. However, I actually grew up in Myrtleford and went to Wangaratta High School, so I have a special and long-term connection to the Wangaratta Art Gallery, so I'm particularly thrilled to be included in this year's Textile Award, hanging on the walls beside so many exceptional artists. As a mixed media artist, I draw upon every imaginable material in my practice. However, textiles has become a particular strong part of it since 2014, when I was invited by an arts organisation called Sasa Art Projects in Cambodia to do a residency in the White Building. The White Building was a remarkable place. Built in the 50s after Cambodia declared its independence from France, it was a powerful example of new Khmer architecture, a beautiful and distinct architectural style that fused French modernism with distinct Cambodian architectural traditions, such as the design of Angkor Wat and the vernacular tradition of ordinary people's homes. 50 years after its construction, having survived a brutal civil war and relentless tropical weather, it was one of the most vibrant communities in Phnom Penh and home to 2,500 people. However, with only a couple of words of Khmer, I was very nervous about the residency. How could I make work about this place in a culturally sensitive way? On the second day, I decided to visit a nail salon located at the base of the building. This is something I'd normally never do, but the length of the procedure meant that I was able to develop a rapport with the women. As the procedure carried on, the conversation became increasingly equal, and we discussed the loss of a parent, our various degree of interest in child-rearing, and housing security. As my nails dried, the salon owner pulled out a cross-stitch, and we started to discuss it, concluding that I'd come back in a couple of days with my own kit so that they could teach me. She was excited to convert another woman to her favourite hobby. Over the following weeks, I sat with the salon owner at the base of the White Building, stitching, listening and chatting. Eventually I stopped stitching the kit and started to stitch pocket-sized cross-stitches over the top of the pattern that captured the unique 1950s breeze blocks and wrought iron window bars of the White Building. While our conversations covered many topics, the most common was housing security. The women loved their community and their home, but they were painfully aware of the forced relocation of other working-class communities to make way for new, shining housing towers. When my residency ended, I gave each of the women at the salon a small cross-stitch of the White Building. Pocket-sized, it could be carried with them if and when the building was demolished. This was the outcome of the project, a series of small cross-stitches that I gave away. Based on this experience, there were three things that really excited me about cross-stitch. Firstly, the fact that it was an international language, a technique that is popular right across the world. Secondly, that the length of time that it takes means that it can be used as a way of building relationships, thinking through problems, and in the process understanding the world. And finally, the fact that it is small squares means that it has an interesting relationship to the computer pixel. The work that I have hanging as part of the Wangaratta Textile Award was created during Melbourne's never-ending COVID-19 lockdown. Just before COVID hit, I read a beautiful article about the Patrice, a ship that from the 50s to 70s brought tens of thousands of Greek migrants to Australia. One afternoon, as the vice captain performed his port checks, he discovered a man crying and whispering into the ship's hull. "What are you doing?" he inquired. "I'm sending messages back to my loved ones in Greece," he said. For most post-Second World War migrants, my family included, the distance between their homeland and Australia was so great that they never returned. Moving to Australia meant a permanent sever from your country of origin. This is very different to contemporary migrant stories. However, in a matter of weeks, as COVID spread across Asia, Europe and the Americas, planes were grounded and borders closed, and I found myself isolated, dreaming of the global cities I love but could no longer access. Lisbon Dreaming, my work in the exhibition, was created in response. Suffering from insomnia, I embarked on a digital derive, visiting my favourite global public spaces with the aid of Google Street View. As I clicked and scrolled, I wrote a diary, logging what I was thinking, before capturing a screenshot that reminded me of a specific memory. Over the following weeks, I stitched that screenshot into a pocket-sized tapestry that could be carried with me as I walked the now empty streets of lockdown Melbourne. The work that I have exhibited at the Wangaratta Gallery includes the cross-stitches and documentation of me carrying them through the empty streets of Melbourne, but it also includes small poetic narratives reflecting on all of the Wonderwall people I have met while travelling and how perceptions of distance shift depending on your position on the map. And to complete this video, I thought I'd let Lisbon Dreaming play, one of those poetic works. Thank you.